Alright, my yearbook friends, welcome to another video. This one's actually super important, and we've covered it before, but I figured I'll just do it fresh for new eyes. This video is going to go over finding and placing pictures in a yearbook layout. Specifically in a yearbook layout where the layout is already set up for you and you're just dropping pictures onto the page. So to begin with, the idea here is that you have your yearbook account. Everybody here has one, and you are able to log in. If you have an issue with logging in, let me know. But otherwise, I'm going to go through the process. Now, I have the same set of instructions that you guys are going to be looking at right over here. And then this is my screen, so we have a nice little split screen going. And hopefully it will make things easy to see. So let me just kind of shrink that down so we can only see these steps. And let's get started. So today we're going to be talking about like the sports collage, but this can be applied to any page project where the layout already exists. So to begin with, I'm going to select the book. You may not have this screen. That's okay. If you wind up just seeing this when you log in, that's totally fine too. This is our main dashboard. And from the dashboard, we need to get to the page that we are editing. So we're going to go to Manage, and we're going to go to Manage Ladder. Our ladder is a fancy term for what's called a two-up view of our different yearbook spreads. So that means that we see two pages, which means two up, and these are all spreads. A spread is two pages across the spine. So we can kind of cruise through here, and the book doesn't really look that laid out right now, and that's totally okay. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that happens first, but this is the page that we're talking about for today. So I'm going to click on the Edit button right here, this big blue Edit button. Give it a click, and it's going to bring up our editor. Now in the editor, we can see all of these hexagons over here. These are our photo frames. And this is where we're going to be putting the pictures. So where do we get the pictures? Well, that's where we kind of talk about the stuff that's on this part of the page. So let's talk about it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Google Drive photo that's called Photos 2025-2026. I already have that open over here, but it's this link. And we'll make a little chip. Why not? And if you go into here, you'll see this view. Now this is our big, massive kind of by-month photo library. And each one of these folders, if you double click into it, has a whole bunch of folders within it. You can look at it as a list, or you can look at it as a grid, either way you want to do that. Usually I like to look at folders as lists because you can alphabetize them, and that makes sense. But then once you're in the folder itself, it makes a little bit more sense to look at like a grid. So anyway, going back to our instructions, we're going to go to that, and then we're going to go to find a picture that we want. So let's say that we are looking for a picture of a sports event from the fall. So what we're going to do is we're going to find a fall month, obviously September, October, November, and we're going to double click into one of those guys, let's say September, and then we're going to be looking for a sports folder. Now, as mentioned in the notes, most sports folders are named with an abbreviation and a date. So for example, something like girls varsity volleyball, that's one word, volleyball from a game on September 30th, 2026 would be something like GVVB, girls varsity volleyball 09/30/26. So September 30th, 2026. So you're looking for one of those folders, and at the moment you can just kind of like find any sports folder you want. Now that is a suggestion, not a rule, so some of them aren't named like that, like these XC ones down here, but that's okay. We have a bunch over here. We have JV soccer, we have girls volleyball, that kind of stuff. I am going to double click on this guy, and I'm going to find this folder because I know that I have some good pictures in here, and I'm going to pull up my grid. For the time being, these images are grayed out. That's because something's going on with my Google Drive. You can ignore it. But these are all the pictures that we can pick from, and we have some really good ones here. We have a really cool picture of these 6th grade dudes, and I'm going to download it. And I'm going to take a look at my downloads. Let's take a look. Here we go. And that's the picture that I'm looking for. Very nice. We've got a little bit of a bunny ear situation, so we may not use this picture, but that's okay. So anyway, going back to the instructions over here, you're going to find the picture, you're going to download it, and then once you've downloaded it, it's time to get it into the page. Unfortunately, it'd be so much easier if you could just go ahead and do something like this, where you drag a picture from your desktop into the frame, but as you can see, that actually doesn't work. It just opens it in a new tab. So what we have to do is we have to use the actual software. So we've downloaded our picture. We're cool. We're on the spread. Next, we're going to go to Images right here on the top left. Click on that, and then it's going to bring up a menu where I can upload a photo. Upload is the button we're caring about right now. We're not really caring about these at the moment. I'm going to upload. I'm going to browse files. I'm going to find that picture that I just downloaded. It's this guy. There we go. And we get a little preview to make sure it's the right one. Very, very good. And up here, this little doodad is actually our drop down. This puts the picture into the correct folder on our software. So the folder that I'm working with right now is our sports collage. Put it in there, upload one file, give it a hot minute, click done. And now in our sports category, in our subcategory of sports collage, we can see this picture right here. And finally, we can drop it into the layout. So I'm going to drag it from here and we'll put it right there, dead middle. And hey, that's a great crop right there. But let's say that what we want to do instead of having the full picture, although this is like just a supremely great framed picture for this kind of application, but let's say that we want to zoom in on like Ravi and Charlie. Sorry, Jake. What I'm going to do is when the frame is selected, and here I'm going to click out of it just so you can see it pop up. When I click on a frame, I get this little thing called the quick menu right there. Again, get rid of it. There it is. And if I click on crop edit, you will see the cropping window that becomes available right here. And what we can do is we can kind of narrow these things down. Now the groovy thing with this is that it works great for square frames, but if you're working with circles, if you're working with hexagons, you have to be mindful of the actual dimensions of your frame. So here we go. Let's try cropping that. We're going to hit save photo. And hey, that looks good. Very nice. Cool crop. I'm so happy. But I want to move it up a little bit. So I'm going to go back to crop and edit. Hey, look at that. It was non-destructive. So that means that I can always change the crop again off of the first time that I did it. So like I said, I want to move it up. So moving up weirdly means moving the square down because we're changing where the frame is. Save. And hey, that's a cool crop. All right, very cool. Now let's say, you know what, I actually want to do something else there. I'm just going to click the clear button. Bingo bango. And maybe I'll hit reset too. Hey, look at that. Now we have an empty frame ready to go for another picture. So this is the process. Your steps are from here to here, picking your picture, right? Then from there, you're going to be uploading it into the system. And then from there, you're going to be cropping and resizing to make sure you got it right. Awesome. If you have any questions, please email me, and then do your best to put your picture into the sports collage folder if that's the folder that you're working with. If you are on a different spread, you want to put it into that category as well. Just helps keep things nice and organized. Great job. Good luck.